Oh my god. Like me. The Game Awards just took place and there was one very big announcement, and that was Elden Ring Nightreign, a Elden Ring spin-off standalone game set in the world and lore of Elden Ring, but in a completely different universe, a parallel universe that would be. And it will be launching sometime next year, 2025. So let me walk through some of this. And I did a full trailer breakdown that I just put up on my channel. Go check that out, where I walk through everything we know so far and I break the trailer down shot by shot and talk about what it is I've been able to find out about it. But there is several things about this game that we need to talk about. Number one is who is directing it. This game is not being directed by Miyazaki. This game is being directed by a man named Junya Ishizaki. Now, he's worked alongside Miyazaki very closely, and he's been with From Software ever since Dark Souls 1. He was a level designer for Dark Souls 1. He was a combat and level designer for Bloodborne, and then he was also a combat designer for Dark Souls 3 and Elden Ring. So he's put his time in, and he knows these games very well, and he's the one directing this project. Miyazaki was involved in the beginning stages of the concept and kind of planning process of development, but he handed it off to Ishizaki fairly soon after. So there's a couple things about that we need to talk about, because this game has brought out mixed reactions from people. So some people are very ecstatic and excited about it, like myself. I can't wait to play the game. I can't wait to hear more about the game. Some people not so much. Some people are very displeased with the direction that they are choosing to take this game, because this is not Elden Ring 2. This is not a sequel or anything like that. This is a standalone game that is taking a much different direction than what we're used to. This is a co-op survival game set in the Elden Ring universe. So essentially, this is how the game works. You have a 3-day structure, basically. So when you start a play session, you start on day 1, and then you will progress through the game, fighting enemies, gathering gear, and as the game goes on, the daytime starts to close and the nighttime comes, and there is a fog wall or acid rain or something that is closing in on you during that time until it reaches a certain point that kind of closes off the whole map. And then at that point, at nightfall, you fight the boss for that day. If you beat the boss, then you progress to day 2. The same thing happens again all the way until day 3, where you fight the final boss for that play session. And then if you beat that one, you have to start a new play session, so on and so forth. So that's the basic structure of the game. And when you start a play session, you basically pick which boss you are hunting, essentially. So you pick the final boss for your play session. That's how it works. So it's much different than what we're used to with like the base game Elden Ring or the DLC or the Dark Souls games or anything like that. It has the mechanics, it has the lore, it's built on what we're used to, but it's going to be very different, and some people are very unhappy about that. So the reason I wanted to talk about who Ishizaki is and the game's development is because Miyazaki obviously trusts him to hand him complete control of this project very early on in the process. And he's worked right alongside Miyazaki for a long time. So if there's anybody that we can trust that deserves the benefit of the doubt, it would be Miyazaki and From Software. So if Miyazaki trusts this guy, who am I not to trust him? So I think this is going to be yet another banger. That's all From Software seems to know how to do. So I have no reason to suspect that anything else would happen. I'm super excited for Nightreign. I would just urge everybody to calm down, let them cook, and let's wait until we hear more details about the game. And it's launching next year, so hopefully it won't be too long a wait. Also, another thing I almost forgot to add in, there is a playtest taking place in February 2025, and you can sign up starting January 10th. So if you're interested, which I would imagine you are, make sure you jump in and sign up on January 10th. The Elden Ring sicko Skumnut has completed a run through the base game of Elden Ring and the DLC, all at level 1 on New Game Plus 1000, no hitting every single boss. That's right, big respect to Skumnut. He's one of the best in the business. I covered him last time when he did his run through the DLC at New Game Plus 1000, and he just continues to top himself, and I can't wait to see what he has cooked up next. A big Black Myth Wukong update has just dropped. On the official Twitter page, they made this statement. While we celebrate, a reminder to all our players. This week, we are releasing an update featuring new challenge modes and maps, along with performance optimizations for the PS5 version. Now, initially, this update launched on Steam first, but I'm happy to report it is now live on consoles as well. This update brings a challenge mode to the game, which allows you to run a boss gauntlet, which is basically a boss rush mode, and it also allows you to challenge bosses that you have beaten in the past, very similar to like what you'd find in Sekiro. To access this, once you have the update downloaded, all you have to do is visit a shrine, and then you will see a challenge mode down at the bottom. There's also some other really neat features available with this update as well, including maps for regions and things of that nature. So make sure you go check it out, and for all my subscribers, make sure you check my channel. I will be live streaming the boss rush mode very soon, so keep an eye on that. And if you're not a subscriber, make sure to subscribe and leave a like on this video. The pre-orders for Tales of Iron 2 Whiskers of Winter are now live, and we finally have an official release date. Tales of Iron 2 will launch on January 28th, 2025. So not very long to wait. I just started playing Tales of Iron just not too long ago, and I'm super impressed with Tales of Iron 1, so I can't wait to get my hands on Tales of Iron 2, and it will launch on PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Xbox, Steam, and Nintendo Switch. We have a little more info on the DLC for Lies of P. When I covered this a couple months ago, I was originally thinking that maybe we might see this before the end of the year, but it does not look like that's going to happen. However, we may not have to wait much longer than that. In an article over on GamerReporter.com, if you scroll down towards the middle of the article, there's an interesting little snippet here that says the DLC, while still without a specific title, has been slated for release in the first quarter of 2025. So that's obviously not too far, not too long to wait. I hope this turns out to be true. I'm super excited for anything regarding Lies of P. There could be a sequel coming soon. DLC is obviously in the works. We just don't know the specific date yet. But first quarter 2025 is the next best thing, so I'll take it. Aggro Crab just put out some info on some free content for Another Crab's Treasure. They made this post over on X where it states, "We're shuckling excited to announce that the upcoming free content update has been titled Year of the Crab. There has been no feature more widely requested than New Game Plus, and it's coming soon." So there you have it. It looks like we're going to get New Game Plus for Another Crab's Treasure. Who knows what else will be included in this free content update or when it happens, but they say it's going to be soon, so I would assume in the next month or so. We'll just have to wait and see. Enotria, The Last Song, is now available for Xbox Series X and S. This game was originally supposed to launch on Xbox as well as PlayStation, but something happened during development and that was not possible. There were rumors that Sony did some kind of back-end deal and made it some kind of timed exclusive. That turned out not to be true. We don't really know what happened, but there was some kind of miscommunication between the developers and Xbox. That seems to have been resolved now, and it is out on Xbox. So if you've been waiting to play it and you're an Xbox player, now's your time to jump in. It's time now for this week's Indie Spotlight, and today we are looking at Nine Souls. This game released a while back, but it just now released on console, and I primarily play on console, so I just got a chance to try it out, and I have to say this game is absolutely amazing. I've heard it's kind of a cross between Hollow Knight and Sekiro, and that's kind of true, but it's also so much more than that. There's so much depth to this game and a ton of creativity, so I definitely recommend that you try this one out if you haven't already. I know I'm kind of late to the party, but this game impressed me so much I wanted to throw it in here and at least show everybody what it's all about. Those are all the stories that we have for today. If you enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.